Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehakol nהיה b'dvarei. Hi, hi, everyone. Good tavach, Shavua Tov, a good week. Welcome to Chassidus. In the morning, some of you might not be awake yet and only watching this later when it's not morning. Some of you, maybe you're drinking some coffee to recognize that it's time to wake up. And hopefully, all of you are here, be woken up by the spirit of Chassidus, the Rebbe's teachings, Chaim. Okay. We continue in our discourse. One second. Oh, okay. We are learning the Mimer, the Hasidic discourse, said 51 years ago, yesterday. Kol Yisrael yesh lehem chelik v'lo haba. Started doing Pirkei Avos, the ethics of our fathers. And each chapter begins with the phrase, all of Israel has a portion to the world to come, referring to the world of Tchiyas HaMesim. After the first part, the first time period of the Messianic redemption, there's a second part, Tchiyas HaMesim, resurrection of the dead. And that will be souls in a body specifically. And everyone. Question is, why does everyone get that? As opposed to Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden, that is more deserved, shall we say, based on what you did in this world. More conditional. So we need to understand that concept. We need to understand also, why is it that when it comes to that world to come, it is specifically a soul and a body, as opposed to Gan Eden, Garden of Eden, is just a soul. It would be, it's intuitively the opposite. The body is limiting. The soul is unlimited. So you would think the greater revelation of godliness would be in a place and a time period which we only to the soul that's also not limited. So we explain this, or start to explain this, by understanding the difference between Torah and mitzvahs. Now, Torah is the divine will. Mitzvahs, Torah is the divine wisdom of God. Mitzvahs are the divine will of God. However, at the same time, Torah is like the blood that gives life, and it gives life to the limbs of the body. The limbs of the body is a metaphor for mitzvahs. We have 248 limbs of the body, 248 positive commandments. So what's giving life to what? Well, blood gives life, is the life's force of the limbs of the body. So in that sense, Torah is greater. However, at the same time, Torah is the wisdom of God, whereas mitzvahs is the will of God, which is greater. Will is stronger, more powerful than intelligence. Perfect proof is that if you understand something, yet you don't desire that thing, you understand how good learning Torah is. But God forbid you don't desire it. You don't want it. Not interested. Guess what? All of the wisdom in the world is not going to overcome that. Now, it may create a desire, right? It may create the desire, but it might not also. Point being is that your will is stronger. It's greater. Metaphorically, it's like the crown on top of the head. The head is wisdom, intelligence. Crown is beyond that. Furthermore, intelligence is something integrated within a system. From Chokhmah to Bina, Bina to Das, Das to then Chesed Gvura, to your emotions. Your intelligence is a tool, if you will, to bring to your emotions, to bring to your feelings. Will is all-encompassing and connects the whole system. It's not within the system. It's beyond the system. It encompasses the system, sort of the internal system. The internal person is intelligence and emotions. That's the makeup of the internal aspect of your soul. Will is beyond that, encompassing, therefore more powerful. So what we have over here then is Torah is more related to the soul of the person. Metaphorically, we use it as a blood. Well, blood is the life force of the person. That's where the soul resides in the animal soul, at least the vitality. It hangs out, if you will. L'chaim. And the limbs is the mitzvah, because it takes limbs to do a mitzvah. You put tefillin on your arm, a limb. You give tzedakah with your fingers, right? You walk to, to the hospital to go visit the sick, or to synagogue with your feet. Limbs are involved, right, in the act of the mitzvah, right? When you're studying Torah, like now, your limbs are not involved. Your mind is involved. Your thoughts are involved. It's more soulful. It's more the soul of the individual than the physicality of the person. Is that all clear, folks? Wonderful. So, on one hand, the soul is greater than the body. So, Torah is greater than mitzvahs. But on the other hand, the soul is there to give vitality to the body. The blood is there to give vitality to the limb. The Torah is there as an explanation of the mitzvah to give vitality to the mitzvah. So when you do the mitzvah, you do it with vitality because you have the Torah teachings of it. So on one hand, Torah, there's something greater about it. But on the other hand, it's kind of serving the mitzvah. What's the difference? It depends on the vantage point that we're talking about. In the revealed expression of Torah, it's greater than the mitzvah. It's the soul. It's the vitality. The mitzvah is a body. It's just an action, right? It's the action involved in doing the mitzvah. Yet in its root source, the body's greater. In its root source, the act of doing the mitzvah is greater than the Torah that we learn. Again, the point of it is, of the learning, is it brings us to action. So, for example, if we are learning together and it doesn't bring to the fulfillment of a mitzvah, then it's missing the point. So in that respect, the body is greater, the mitzvah is greater in its root source than the soul and the Torah learning that we do in the revealed level. I hope that's clear. Okay. Now, so based on that idea, we know that the obligation and the responsibility of fulfillment of mitzvahs for every Jew is equal. Now, the keeping of Shabbos is equal in everybody. For every 13-year-old man, it's equal. The putting on of tefillin, the act of putting on tefillin, there's no difference. Me and Moses. Excuse me, my spring allergies, if I mention. There's many a time. No difference in the action, in the act of giving. There's no difference. Not intent. We're not talking about the intent here. We're talking about the action of giving. The act of observance of a holiday, eating matzah, there is no difference. The same physical mitzvah, the same parameters of how much you have to eat, how much time that you have to eat it. There's no distinction, the holiest person to the simpleton in the responsibility, in the obligation. It's equal. No difference. When it comes to learning Torah, though, there is a difference in what the responsibility and the obligation is. If you're a Torah scholar that is, spends their day learning, or like a yeshiva student, that's, their tafkid, that is their life at this point. 17-year-old boy who sits and learns a whole day. Well, it's a whole day. Every moment that they have free, dwell in it. engage in it day and night. A business person or a working person, that's different. So that's when you have some free time, like many of you here. And some of you are with me a whole day. But no, but for us, including me, right, I've got a business to run called Chabad, which is to teach others. A part of it, a good part of it at least. So, but the real business person who, 9 o'clock in the morning, they were already at their business. If not at 8 o'clock in the morning, they're already engaged in business. Well, yes, they have to carve out time in the morning and in the evening. But it may be 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is. So there's different levels as a result of this. Now, again, this kind of makes sense because it fits in. It's Torah's divine wisdom. Well, who's capable of understanding the divine wisdom? The depth of the divine wisdom, the breadth of the divine wisdom will vary one person to another. And therefore, their responsibility and obligation will vary. But the mitzvah is a divine will. The divine will is uh, not like, okay, you keep Shabbos this much and you keep Shabbos that much. No, the divine will keep Shabbos. Divine will, you have to hear Kiddush Friday night. You have to make Hamotzi Lechem Min Haaretz with 2 loaves of bread. Not some people, 1 loaf, some people, 2 loaves. Some people, make Kiddush. So, okay, there can be a distinction. You can make Kiddush with wine, this wine or that wine. Or if someone can't have wine, so, okay, they'll make it with grape juice. Fine. But Kiddush has to be made. Tefillin. So like some people, your obligation is Sundays only. No, your obligation is every day, except for Shabbos and holidays. Every day. No distinction. This person or that person. Why? Because it's the divine will. Why does God want this? Because he wants it. If it's a desire based on reason, then it's not a true desire. Then it's the reason that creates the will. So it's if do I really want coffee? No. I need the perk. I need the perk that coffee gives. So do I really want coffee? No. It's based on a reason. That's not a true desire. Do I truly want my child or children? Yes. If it's for a reason and I don't really want them, I want what they give. Folks don't pay attention to people who are just being disruptive. They're not worth the time. It'll be all deleted. Aliza, you heard that Torah study could be decreased and proclaimed falsehood. I don't know what that means. Okay. So because of that distinction, right, there's going to be the difference between the obligation and how much you learn, which you're obliged to know. But when it comes to mitzvahs, it's a divine will, not based on it. God wants this mitzvah because he wants it. Mitzvah of tefillin, mitzvah of tzedakah, of charity, not merely for a desired goal, but this expresses his will, his desire, and therefore is a way we can connect to him. So therefore, will is beyond any division, where Torah, divine will, has division to it. How deeply you know something, how the breadth of that knowledge, and so on. What that means, as a conclusion of that thought, we'll continue tomorrow. All right, folks. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Our Torah studies.